Good afternoon, friends, and welcome to Sunday. Yeah, that's what day it is. I lose track of time sometimes, but it's been a pretty pleasant day so far. I haven't gotten much in the way of work done yet. I will be doing so soon, after I make food first, and potentially coffee, actually. Potentially. We'll have to see. But anyway, I was just kind of hanging out with Kayla for a bit. We watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood some more, and it was incredible seeing their reaction to some of the more crazy plot points, and it made me very happy. In any case, I have a funny story to tell from this morning, as a matter of fact. And Kayla, if you're watching, you probably know exactly what story I'm about to tell. So, we were just kind of hanging out, laying down and stuff, and Kayla was like on their phone, and they like opened up to see how many apps they had open, and there was a whole bunch of them. And what they meant to say was, geez, I have like 20 apps open, am I an old person? But what came out is, what am I, 20? And I just kind of stood there for a little bit, and I'm like, definitely a little older than 20. And it was a moment. It was a moment when the English language fails. And we have moments like that a lot. I know I have moments like that a lot. I've had moments like that on the vlog. So I just thought it was worth telling. You know, we all have those moments. I'm feeling kind of tired. I don't know what it is necessarily. Maybe I just need a nap. Maybe I need a break. My problem is I don't know how to take a break. Everything I do in my head is kind of like some sort of work, and I'm always fighting this battle in my head where I'm like, okay, we gotta write a book, yeah, that's one thing. We gotta make our game, that's another thing. And even when I'm playing a video game, my head turns it into a job. It's like, oh, I want to play a video game, but instead of just choosing a game I want to play for fun, my brain goes, oh no, you gotta play this specific game. And I'm like, why? And then my brain says, well, you started it, you gotta finish it. It's required, you have to finish these games. And as a result, I just don't know how to take a break. Because growing up, video games were my break. I would, at the end of a school week, we'd be allowed like a few hours of video game time every weekend, and of course we'd always play more than that because we were mischievous little kids who didn't always listen to our parents, because that's just how we are. But, video games were my break, and they were my means of just kind of having fun after a long school week. Writing, in a way, was a form of break as well. It wasn't a career or anything like that. I never felt pressure to write. That didn't really happen until, right after high school. I just did things for fun, and I feel like I've lost sight of that as an adult. Kind of being an adult trapped in the capitalist nightmare we call the United States. You feel like you always have to be grinding, you always have to be making money, and you can't really relax. And even when you have to relax, or even when you should relax, or want to, I'm trying to avoid using the word should, and that's something I learned back when I was in therapy. Even when you want to relax, you're often thinking about your work, or you're trying to think about, ways to make money, and I hate that. I hate that I have that mindset, and I hate that I grew up to become, like the rest of the adults in this country, and lots of other people in the world. Not everything has to be capitalized, and not uppercase letters, but you know what I mean. And it's just something I've been really thinking about. Where's the enjoyment in trying to do something only for work? And work can be fun. The philosopher Alan Watts talked about that. He talked about how, the entirety of life is not meant to be taken as seriously as we humans take it. And we can find play and enjoyment in everything, even work. But we're just so beaten down by society that we're not really given permission to play. We're not given permission to enjoy things because that's not expected of adults. And that's just something I've been thinking about a lot lately. So for the past year or so, I think it's been over a year because it started in August of 2022. I was living with my dad for a long time, and Kayla and I were living there together, but Kayla got fed up with them and moved back here to the East Coast. And I was just kind of stuck with them. And I guess I haven't really talked about this on the vlog, but that's kind of where all my vlogs from 2022 onward were, and where I was just kind of in my room most of the time. And it was kind of a self-made prison, so to say. Anyway, all this is to say, back at the end of May, kind of where I stopped filming vlogs for a while until I moved here, I had a falling out with my dad, and we butted heads. And the biggest problem is that I always kind of had to be this perfect poster child because, growing up, all I ever really wanted was my parents' approval. And every time I showed my true colors, my dad did not like it, and he would get very upset. But anyway, we had a falling out because of a pretty large disagreement, and he likes to, rather at the time, I'm not sure if he's changed very much or not, we haven't really been in contact, but he definitely liked to exert his power over me, whether he realized it or not. So I just up and left his apartment without a word, and I was just staying with my mom and her boyfriend for the 3 weeks I had left remaining in Oregon before my flights move over here. And the reason I say that is because I've been thinking a lot about nostalgia and nostalgic memories. For some reason, on my phone, I ended up accidentally removing a whole bunch of old photos because there was a button on the photo app that said free up space, and I thought it would take me to kind of like on the Switch, where if you're freeing up space, it will give you an option to delete certain games. But no, it just removed them from my phone automatically. And recently I re-downloaded a whole bunch of old photos from 2017 up to 2022 from the Google Cloud, which thankfully I had them all on there. And I was just thinking about nostalgia and why I've been so attached to nostalgic memories ever since that falling out with my dad up until recently. And I've been kind of thinking about that and how it relates to what I was just talking about. In thinking about it all, I kind of realized that the reason I was so attached to nostalgic memories was to cling on to something familiar. The first couple days I was staying with my mom, I left on really long walks to go visit the old neighborhoods I used to live in, or I went to drop by my old elementary school and just kind of hang out and just kind of be there, I guess, to kind of soak it in and remember old memories and things like that. And I think the reason I was clinging to nostalgia so much for so long is because I basically just flipped my whole life upside down by leaving a place I was living at for, definitely over a year. And even though living there was not great, it was still a quote-unquote stable position, I guess. And I interrupted that stability by just kind of choosing what was best for myself. And accompanying that was the realization of, life's changing, things aren't the same. So I was clinging to the past as something to hold me while I was kind of sailing into the unknown, essentially. And moving here was another thing, because like I said, I only stayed with my mom for 3 weeks before I moved here. So my living situation changed in rapid succession, twice. And I've definitely gotten used to living here by now. There is still a part of me that fears the unknown. I've gotten used to the area I'm in, but I live in a very big city, and I know nothing about the city. And for the past decade of my life, I lived in a small town where I was able to walk across town very easily, and I knew where everything was. So to live in a big city and not know where anything is, to not have a functioning phone, so that way, if I were to take a walk and get lost, I could contact Kayla and let them know, but I can't do that because I can only use my phone in Wi-Fi hotspots. It's a big change, and I was clinging on to nostalgia for that reason, but yeah, it's just all been a lot. And I'd get into it right now, but my arm's hurting because I keep recording long clips back to back. So I need to give my arm a bit of a longer break before I get into more detail. I guess what I mean to say with all of this is I've been kind of holding on to a lot of emotional baggage over the past couple of years, and I wanted to finally talk about it on the vlog, see if I can get my thoughts a little more in order. Maybe putting it out there will help someone else who's struggling with similar stuff, just at least the knowledge of knowing you're not alone. And maybe talking about it will help me get back to writing and enjoying things, because I haven't really been enjoying things the way I used to. My attitude about a lot of things have changed. And while a lot of those changes are okay, because that just means, you know, we're growing and maturing, a lot of the changes have resulted in me just enjoying fewer things, and I want to fix that. Well, you can't really fix it. I guess the better word is improve. I want to enjoy my writing more. I want to enjoy video games more. I want to enjoy taking breaks more and just kind of sitting with myself, thinking, and introspecting a lot more often. I want to enjoy life more. I want to drink a little deeper and enjoy life instead of just going on autopilot or always feeling like I have to, you know, do things purely because I have to. And instead, asking myself, what would happen if I did this? You know, instead of saying I have to do this, just asking that question. What would happen if I wrote? What would happen if I played a little more Persona 5? What would happen if I made a new map in my game? You know, kind of playing at that curiosity thing. And that's kind of what cognitive reframing is about, too. I've talked about that a little bit on the vlog before, but cognitive reframing is something I learned when I was in therapy, and it's an immensely helpful tool. It's taking your memories, past, present, or future, I guess future memories don't exist, past and present, and reframing them in a different light. In a way, it's gaslighting, but it's positive gaslighting. So it's like, instead of saying, oh, I have to do this, it's like exploring things, you know. Ooh, what if I wrote this way? What if I played this way? What if I played the way I would have when I was, 5 years younger? I thought about that because I started playing Persona 3 Fez recently, and Reload spoiled me. All the changes and accessibility options spoiled me, so when I played Fez again, the fatigue system really got me, and I was prepared for not controlling my party members in battle. I actually don't mind that. It was the fatigue system that got me, and, but when I first played Persona 3, I thought it was the most revolutionary stuff in the world. I loved that shit. And it just changed because life has changed so much, but it's all about our attitude and how we see things. So my brain might think, oh, what if I played Persona 3 Fez the way I did when I first played it? What if I looked at it in the same light? And I think that'll be a very helpful way of thinking of things from now on. On the plus side, I've actually been getting lots of writing done in between the last clip and now. I'm just kind of taking my time this time. I'm a little over 1,000 words. I think I've written 1,033 words. And I've started a new chapter, and it's pretty nice so far. At any rate, thank you guys for indulging me and letting me kind of vent about some of the stuff that's been bothering me the past couple of years, and especially the past few months, just because of how much life changed. I am in a better place now. I just need to work on making this a better place as well. And I think the first step to that is introspection, cognitive reframing, and just making better habits, whatever those may be, changing my attitude about things, and relearning to enjoy things in general. But anyway, that's probably enough from me. I've talked long enough in today's vlog. So thank you guys so much for watching. You are all wonderful people, and as always, let's do our best tomorrow.